Fear of failure is good. Fear of failure will keep you up at night, planning and rehearsing and going over contingencies. Fear of failure will keep you training hard.
What's up, guys? RicoCapital here, and I'm going to show you how we caught a rising wedge pattern and then a falling wedge pattern in the same 24 hours and how we banked off it. So let's get right into it. So CPI Wednesday, inflation data came out. We saw that the market reacted very positive to it. As you can see, pre-market, we ended up ripping up there and hitting our target on QQQ. So tech started to bounce here. And we hit our targets on SPY as well. So SPY above 585 right here, we knew would run to 591. And then from there, possibly 596, 595, but ultimately 600 as our kind of weekly target. So this was Wednesday, and we see, pre-market, we go right to 591 zone, right up there. You can see almost perfectly, really perfectly, we did hit the zone here. We kind of rejected it a little bit pre-market, but you can just kind of see, the stuff happening right at open and stuff like that. So we swung calls into this beautifully, and we cashed out here. Now, I'm going to get into kind of how we spotted the rising wedge, how we capitalized off it, and then how we capitalized off the falling wedge. So after we cashed out, the SPY calls, we saw that it was starting to bull flag. Now, end of day here, we see that SPY did end up kind of rising up here, and you can see QQQ did pretty much the same exact thing. Now, a bull flag would not rise up above that initial high, that morning high right there. It would have stayed in zone, something a little bit more along the lines of rejecting here and staying like this, and it would have closed something like that, creating the flag. Now, I knew, we would cash out on more calls for the swing, but I realized this was a rising wedge, which a rising wedge is a bearish pattern at the end of a bullish kind of movement. So I knew we had a little bit more room to go before, downside was kind of coming, so to say. So we saw Q, we ended up swinging some more calls. You can see we gapped up there. And so we ended up exactly, doing that up on some QQ calls. We sold the 514 calls, or there were 517, 514, they're in the money. We sold these. And right at open, I just drew, on the hourly, this rising wedge just to show you, what was going on here. You see it kind of rising up into this 519, 520 range. And on SPY, it looks a little bit cleaner. You can see rising up into this supply. So I know sellers are up here. I know if sellers are up here and we're kind of making this pattern, then I need to be very careful. So I told the team, be ready. We're going to possibly slam some puts at open, dump our calls for a win, and get ready. We're not going to be chasing calls up here like the rest of the market that is, caught off guard, or rest of the traders that are caught off guard. So what we did is we stuck with QQ on this one. Right at open, we ended up selling those swing calls for us, and we banked absolutely on that. And we saw right at open, we rejected kind of the yellow trend line I drew, and I knew if we rejected right there perfectly at open, and I saw sellers kind of step in, then we can slam some puts. So that's exactly what we did. We went with the 514 puts, knowing, they should definitely get close to being in the money or at the money if we get the full move that we're looking for. But we're not looking for the full move. We're actually just looking for it to go in our direction. So right at open, we saw that we kind of started losing the 518, and I slammed those puts perfectly. So right at open, we dumped our calls, slammed those puts. We got them for 90 bucks. I got them for 93 bucks. My average was somewhere in the 80s. And then you can see that immediately, this play worked out for us, and we hit our targets, which was, down here. Our first main target was hitting 516. And then the main target after that, if I knew if we would get it, more than likely we're going to come down to the 514, 513 demand right here, putting our puts in the money. I knew that a lot of buyers, though, were at the 515, so it did not matter. We slammed those right, and those ran from 80 bucks, 90 bucks, all the way to 150. I was all out about right here, down here, as we got close to the 515. They obviously ran like 200 plus contract. We're all out 135, 140, 150. And that's good enough for me. I'll take 50% easy move on top of a banger swing. Love that. So you see this pattern is a rising wedge. When it breaks down of it, you can kind of see, there's continuation. And, this was a very interesting day because it was kind of range shot, but you can see the complete move there that happened from the rising wedge. So you can see we came all the way down to 511, 510 by end of day, putting those calls in the money, deep in the money. So it was a really good play. Now, at this time this was happening, I was already eyeing the next swing for us, and I was already on to the next play. This is where I saw tech was a little bit weaker, so we went with SPY. And so SPY was a way better option for us because of this. We see that we did reject our 594 at open. We stayed at this demand, meaning buyers are at this demand all right here. We saw that we held it from the CPI kind of move up, and so all this range right here, we know that there's buyers. We slammed some calls, some 595 calls about right here on this green candle. As long as we held above here, I knew we'd magnet back to 596, 595, putting our calls in the money. So we're swinging one day out expiration. I got filled at like 118. And so we're holding there, and then right, in the close, we see that knife. And a lot of members, were kind of freaking out a little bit, but I was reassuring them that, bears were more than likely celebrating that close. And I told them exactly like this. The bears were celebrating that close, but they are going to be crying at market open because I'm seeing right now this falling wedge. And so you kind of see, in this pattern, maybe on the 15, you can a little bit see it better, but kind of drawing it like this, you can see exactly what I was seeing, just falling wedge. The opposite of this one up here, falling wedge, meaning this is a bullish, pattern at the end of a bearish kind of day. I knew seeing consolidation, all this right here, we're looking to go higher. And that's exactly what we did. So we defended at 590 right, at close after hours, and you can see the monster move that happened going into, Friday, and we got a massive move here. SPY ended up gapping up, breaking downtrend of that falling wedge, running to 596, 595 right here pre-market. Right before open, we're already hitting our targets, and I was like, guys, get ready. I'm gonna sell all out and maybe hold a runner or two, see what happens. And we ran to 599, almost 600 level target for the week, and we did it. We knew sellers were up here. Notice how we got to it. Sellers stepped in, hit our RicoCap supply, and rejected right out. So we knew sellers were up here, not to be touching calls up here, risk off. And we hit all our targets, the 595, 596, then boom, 600, 599 supply, everything according to plan. We slammed those calls down here, like I said, for 118. Some got them for in the 90s. I ended up loading more at like 60 or 70 after this dump. And then we sold them all for 250 plus. The exit right at open, I got was around, I think it was around, 300 a contract. Yeah, 300 contract, mostly all out. So over 200% for us. They ran to 400 a contract plus. My runners, each contract ran there for a nice gain of over 200, 285 bucks, over 241%. I loved it. Beautiful play right there. Members cashed out, and I want to show you guys the members gains on just the Friday on this move, because they followed me into the fire. They've been trusting me all week. We've been banking all week, and this is just one of those moments where I'm super happy that they trusted me. So starting this off, Spacey follower was up 210 bucks off one contract, bringing his account up 17% on the day. Beautiful. Menace with the 595 call, of course, 635 bucks. Blue Dew 30% on his account. Pac-Man up about $900 on those SPY swings. Soul Sandals, look at that on the 595 calls on the SPY swings. I'm showing a little bit of gains right there. Menace showing more on that. Brock 1300, almost 1400, first $1,000 day for him. He crushed that. Jock showing 100% on his account. He went in with us. He's been growing his account like crazy. Chase went in with us as well, up 1600 on the swing. Beautiful work right there. He's cashing out. I'm showing green on all accounts because I went in on my Robinhood, I went on a Webull, everything. Look at that, the 595s, 2K on that, 6% on the other small account, and then on my bigger one, I think it's like 6% as well. Menace running it back with those 594 puts, beautiful. Beautiful. And then we got Benji showing off some more SPY stuff, SPY wins, sold sandals. He said, I've learned not to sell unless Rico says. Beautiful work right there. Benji showing off his week with RicoCap, 2.8K right there, running it up. We got Anthony showing off 217%, huge win on him right there for him. He was loving life. Sangusi showing up 7%, $64, loving that. Meme 102 right here. Look at that, $200 off that 595 one contract. 175%, over 600%. Oh my God. He says, who's still holding overnight? Almost 200%. Yes. Burke showing off some warrior spirit right there on the week. Beautiful. And of course, crushed it on that Friday. Dolphin Goat. Shout out to Carter right here. Up 22%, $500 on the day. Beautiful. He said, should be way more, but you live and learn. He's profitable in the year to date. And he's killing it with us. Joseph showing off almost 4%. Consistency is key. He's been running it up. Han went crazy on that swing with us. He said decent week. Long live Rico. Past week he's up 22.6K. Loving that. Blue Dude 388% on the day at open. Blessed Life saying they scared money makes no money. Let me tell you, never scared over here, only high conviction setups. He's been riding with us. Beautiful plays. I mean, and there's more, absolutely more, member gains, but I'm leading the members into profitability here. A lot of members are finally profitable. Up huge year to date. I'm up over 130% year to date. And we've been having a good month. Just, trusting me, trusting the zones, knowing that, buyers are here. Understanding that buyers are here, right? And understanding sellers, where they're at as well. Sellers are here. We got to know where the sellers and buyers are sitting at, know where to be at, know where, to take the right trade. And that's how we do it. So if you want to be on the right side of the trade, you can get the zones for $25 a week. Just the zones. If you want to join the team, hurry up and join now because I'm about to raise the prices. $50 a month. It gets you members access. It gets you all that member stuff in the Discord, members only chat, hilarious, high conviction plays, the zones, Lotto Friday watch list. We're having a good time. I do a lot of review session. I trade live if you want to sign up for live trading as well. If you want to come top member, $250 a month, you get live trading, you get mentorship by me, you get members, the zones, everything. So sign up if you want. $50 a month just to get into the members only. From there, I'm going to raise it to $100 a month. We've been absolutely killing it. Over 460 members going strong, 470 members. We're killing it. And 2025 is going to be our year to run it up massively. Last year was great. This year is going to be our best. So I want to show you guys rising wedges, falling wedges, how we caught that this week in a beautiful move. And so I appreciate you watching the recap. I'm going to be pumping out more content, so plenty more videos on my playlist and YouTube channel to watch and learn today. So I appreciate you watching the video. wap.com/RicoCapital to sign up, get involved, get on my main Twitter, RicoCapital, and I'll see you on the next video.